I drunkenly sucked my straight friend's dick. He asked me to never tell a soul. She died instantly. No one knows I was having an affair, and my family went to her funeral. r/AskReddit. What secret could ruin your life? Some guy convinced naive 15-year-old me to send nudes, and then used it against me for 6 months. He found me on Facebook and threatened to send them to my friends list if I didn't do whatever he asked me to. He would make me get online whenever he asked and have me masturbate for him. He even tried to get me to meet up with him in person. I got really lucky when his profiles just disappeared one day, and I took that opportunity to delete every social media account I had. I haven't gone back since and I never will. It really fucked me up for a while, but I don't really have anyone to blame but myself. It's been 6 years since and I still haven't told anyone I know this story. I get paid a 6-figure salary, for a standard 40-hour-a-week corporate job, for a massive well-known company. In a given week, I do maybe an hour of actual work, the rest of the time I am on Reddit or YouTube, slacking off. I thought when I got this job, that eventually someone would figure out I don't do anything all day, but here I am 14 years later, still doing fuck all and getting paid a lot for it. My cousin raped me several times. My grandmother passed away yesterday, and my father is making funeral arrangements and needs me there with him. I'm panicked because I need to be with my father, but that same cousin will be there. He will try again. I don't know what to do. I know it's easy to say don't be left alone with him, but who knows what he will pull to do it. He's insane, he's a bodybuilder. I'm a 5 feet 1 inch female. This is causing a serious strain on my mental health. In less than 24 hours, I've pretty much shut down completely. I called out of work because I cannot handle being around people. I'm 30. This started when I was 14. I spent summers with the family, and he always found a way to trap me. I would pretend that I was asleep, and I would tense up, but he'd do everything in his power, including, not limited to, using other objects to hurt me. My father and I weren't close for many years. We've only come back into each other's lives since my mom passed away, about 4 years ago. It's not exactly the easiest thing to come clean about, especially since it's his sister's son. This is upstate New York. A while back, I was cheating on my wife with a coworker. It went on for months, and I never really cared for the woman I was cheating with. She was super hot, though. After a while, my coworker started getting really crazy and threatening to tell my wife, whom I had a child with and a baby on the way, about everything. Obviously, I kept trying to cut things off, because I realized I was making a mistake. She lost it one night and was freaking out, and texting me telling me she was going to come to my house, and a drunk driver hit her. She died instantly. No one knows I was having an affair, and my family went to her funeral. This secret is a bad one. When I was 15 and incredibly lonely one summer, I decided to make an OkCupid account. For those of you who don't know, that's a dating website for people 18 plus. I looked probably about 17 at the time, but I guess I could pass for 18. So I said I was 18 on my account. I got a lot of responses from guys instantly. There was this one that stood out to me. His name was James. He was a 22-year-old college student working at Tim Hortons, but me at 15 thought he was the most intelligent and beautiful person I've ever met. We talked for 3 months and then he turned 23. Now the age gap was 8 years. After those 3 summer months of staying up all night, we decided to meet up in person. It was Labor Day weekend when we met up. He picked me up from a gas station and drove me to his house. We lived 3 hours away and I told him that my car didn't work, but really I only had my permit and no car. I honestly think I fell in love with him and we hit it off completely. He was really attractive and different from guys my age. Guys my age would make fun of how I looked, because they were insecure themselves and tease me a lot when they were interested in me, which just confused me. But James would compliment me and joke with me, but never made me feel insecure. I really loved him, but when the relationship progressed, he was talking about having sex and I told him that I was a virgin, which he was okay with. But after I turned 16 I realized that he was a 23-year-old man, who could get in a lot of trouble if he was to sleep with me. I never told him my age because I knew he'd be disgusted with himself, so I just cut all ties with him all day. I figured it was selfish to keep him around. He needed somebody who could be 100% honest with him. So in March I basically blocked him on all social media and my phone. He didn't know where I lived, and I never saw or spoke to him again. It's been 2 years but I sometimes stalk his Facebook. He's actually engaged now and graduated college. I'm so happy that everything is going well for him. I'm only 18 now but I hope one day I'll find a guy who is as great as James. I was picked on a lot in primary school. One kid, we'll call him Jonathan, got quite antsy with skipping ropes and used to whip me with them, before chasing me with it if I ran away. He also called me some pretty horrible names. When I was 10 years old, the bullying was relentless and spread to multiple people bullying me. If I told the school, they would tell off the bullies, but the behavior would still continue. So I decided to take matters into my own hands. As Jonathan came charging towards me with his friends, ready to start whipping, for lack of a better word, I stood rigid with a plastic tennis racket, and with all of my anger, spun in one complete circle. I didn't expect to move so quickly, nor for the racket to hit anything. I was quite weird and had poor hand-eye coordination when I was young, but the racket slammed straight to the side of his face, causing him to bleed quite heavily. He had to go home that day. I'm 17 now, and I've seen him a couple of times since. His head healed, but he sustained minor, temporary brain damage because of it. Prior to me reuniting with him, I genuinely thought I had killed him. I still hate how I caused all of this damage to him. Jonathan's friends were simply too scared to tell the teacher of what I did, for fear of how I'd react. Up until this point, I'd been intelligent, quiet and secluded. When I suddenly snapped and attacked, it came as a huge shock to them. They, mostly, stopped talking to me as well. People may tell me to try and reconcile with him, but the truth is that I will never, ever forgive him for the crap he put me through for 2 years. So, don't really know how to start this off, but I'm attracted to beds. It started somewhere during my early high school years, when I was really starting to discover myself. There was something about beds, the fact that when you go to sleep at night, you're always with them. Their purpose is to make you feel comfortable at night, when you're at your most vulnerable. Anyway, I modified my twin bed towards the end of high school, essentially tearing the fabric, shoving some pillows in the side, and make a little hole that I could insert myself into. I've always known that the behavior is odd, but I can't help myself. Nowadays, I live with my girlfriend. I don't have that twin bed anymore, but anytime we have sex, it has to be on a bed. If it's not, I can't get hard. Needless to say, if this got out, it'd truly fuck me over. Got super drunk once and my gay friend stayed over. We went to bed and as we're chatting, his hands started moving and I didn't stop him. He ended up sucking my dick and I won't lie, it was good. Thing is, as hard as it is to believe, I'm very straight. Also, our families are really close. This is gonna get buried, but I am depressed and suicidal. Last summer I tried to kill myself. I put a gun in my mouth. The only thing that stopped me was my cat happened to walk into the closet where I was. If anyone in real life saw this, they would treat me like I'm a landmine about to explode. I've been in a strictly sexual relationship with a first cousin for the last 5 years. We only ever saw each other once or twice a year growing up, before she moved to the other side of the country, and then never really saw or interacted with each other again, until 5 years ago when she moved back. What started as us meeting up once in a while, has become a regular thing in the last few months. It's escalated to the point where we're now sexting each other. I'm scared to death of what might happen if anyone in our family finds out, but I don't want to stop what's happening either. Here's the story. It all started out very slow before it escalated into full-on sex. I was informed by another cousin of ours, and asked to help her move since I was free at the time. We started hanging out throughout that summer and then one afternoon, we had brunch and then went back to chill at her apartment. It was a super hot day, so we thought, let's just go indoors and relax and watch some TV or a movie. I can't remember what we were watching, but we were chatting the whole time too, just talking about our relatives and what we were looking to do with our lives and careers. After a while she kind of just leaned on me and got comfortable, and I threw my arm around her, almost instinctively, and we're just hanging out like that for a bit. Eventually she gave me a lingering look that was kind of asking what's happening here? And we both went in for a kiss. We were both shocked that it happened, but we got over it fast and started making out, and running our hands all over each other, until my hand was up her skirt touching her through her panties, and then I realized what we were doing and stopped it from going any further. We both came to our senses and stopped before anything went any further. We decided to forget it happened and move past it, but every time we met up after that, we'd make out and push our boundaries, until we eventually ended up having sex. Afterwards, we were meeting up regularly, until we both got really busy with work and only met up on occasion. We completely stopped when each of us had a significant other, but would start hooking up again every so often when we are single. As mentioned before, now it's become a regular occurrence, where we hook up multiple times a week and we've been sexting with each other now. Thanks for watching. Subscribe below for more daily content.